Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Eau de Treasure. This is Steven. This is my YouTube channel where I talk about fragrances that I find in Japan. Usually they're discontinued, vintage, rare fragrances. And I talk about interesting fragrances too, like this one I'm going to talk about in this video. This is an Armaf fragrance and it's called Odyssey Homme White Edition. There it is. Now I've had this sitting around for years. This has been sitting around for about 5 years. Still sealed. I never opened it. It's time to open this one up, and why not just hit the record button and tell you what I think, my initial impressions of this one. Now, I have had this one since it was first produced. A lot of people think that these are recent or new fragrances because the Armaf Odyssey line has really blown up recently. There are flankers that come out every year, and they're probably up to like 10 flankers by now. But this is the first one. Odyssey Black, Odyssey Homme Black. And the bottles have this cool coffee mug or thermos look to it. I don't know, maybe you don't think it's cool, but I like I said in my other videos, I like it when fragrance companies have interesting looking bottles that it doesn't take away the functionality of it. It's just a cap that comes off and it just works like a regular spray. These bottles are pretty cool. I bought the white one thinking I'd like it, and I just, you know how it is, guys, I just get so busy. I have so many fragrances too that I don't even open it up. Now I read the reviews and supposedly this is similar to Armani Stronger With You, which is one of my all-time favorite fragrances. That is one of my favorite dumb reaches for cool and cold weather. I know that one very well, and I have a little bit left in this 15 ml bottle here. There's like 2, maybe 3 ml left in the bottle. I'm going to spray it and compare it to this one. And I got a dupe. I got a cologne fragrance recently from Maison Alhambra called Your Touch for Men. It's a Stronger With You cologne. I'm going to test it with this one too. Just going to compare it to that. I don't have the Cristiano Ronaldo CR7 Game On, which is another dupe or another smell-alike of Stronger With You. I used to have it, so I'll just have to go by memory and see how this one stacks up. This one, by the way, Odyssey Homme Black. This is a clone of Tom Ford Noir Extreme. I've tried that before in stores. I'm not really familiar with it. When this was new, this was, let me show you guys. I'll prove it that I've had this for a long time. Production date, October 2018. So I've had this since 2019. And back in those days, they said that this was a smell-alike or a clone of Dior Homme or Dior Homme Intense and Valentino Uomo. Now, if you look at Fragrantica, they're not even there in the Reminds Me Of section. They're totally gone. And the number one Reminds Me Of is Tom Ford Noir Extreme. I like this very much. I get great performance from this. This is a rich, woody, floral fragrance. It's a little bit powdery. Of course, it doesn't smell as high-end as Tom Ford or Dior or any of those brands like Valentino, but this was a $20 fragrance. Maybe I paid 24 bucks for it, can't remember. And it's pretty good for the price, and I would definitely wear this regularly. It's just I'm so busy and I have so much other stuff, and I like this scent profile more that I don't wear. It's a little bit too heavy. Let's take a look at the packaging real quick before I crack it open. Armaf is made by a company called Sterling Parfums. This is production date January 2020. So I got this later on in 2020. And it's expired. It expired January this year, 2025. So let's smell an expired fragrance, guys. 5 years in the making. This has been sitting around waiting for me to try it out. Okay, let's take a look. Odyssey Homme White Edition. See, this one doesn't say Black Edition, but this one says White Edition on it. A white thermos type bottle. That's all the same on the bottom. Eau de Parfum 100 ml. Not exactly a silver cap, but it's a metallic cap, but it's heavy, but it's plastic. The notes for Armaf Odyssey White, the top notes are pink pepper, yuzu, and grapefruit. The middle notes are violet leaf, C notes, and the base notes are amber, amberwood, and guaiac wood. All right, it's been sitting. Let's see how it does. Let's see how it smells. All right, nice sprayer. Couple big blasts. Immediately, I smell Stronger With You. I get that right away. Stronger with you, definitely. I got to do a spray of the original Stronger with You on this hand before the Odyssey dries down, so I can smell them at the same pace. Let's do a spray of Your Touch on a different spot right here. How about on my arm right there to compare? All right, guys, I've been smelling this for a few minutes now, coming back to the video to give you my comments. First of all, this one smells weird. I liked it when I first smelled it, but now that I'm doing a hand-to-hand test with this, or an arm-to-hand test, this one has some kind of a harsh note to it. Now, I just opened this up recently. Maybe it needs time to get better, but it's kind of weird smelling right now. Of course, this one smells fantastic. It is the bottom of the bottle, and any fragrance you have, or most fragrances, when you get to the bottom of the bottle, it's not exactly fresh anymore. It's had a lot of chance to oxidize and change a little bit with so much oxygen in the bottle, but still smells wonderful. And this one, I'm happy to say, is pretty good. Just off the initial smell, just off the initial sprays, and my impression is that this is a pretty good, I'm not going to say clone, this is a pretty good inspired fragrance of Stronger With You. I smelled right away, I smelled that hazelnut, nutty, woody, sweet combo of Stronger With You. And then as it dried down, as it was drying down, I mean, it's still drying down now. It's only been about 5, 6, 7 minutes, something like that. It shifts to a little bit of a freshness, a sweet freshness. An underlying sweet freshness is coming out, which is something like Paco Rabanne Invictus. You guys know Invictus is like a bubblegum sweet freshness. Well, this doesn't have the bubblegum. It just has the sweet freshness of that. Now, I looked at some of the comments on Fragrantica. Some of the comments are that this one starts off smelling like Invictus and then it dries down to something like Stronger With You. But I get the opposite effect. I get that this opens up like Stronger With You and then it dries down to something a little bit more sweet and fresh than original Stronger With You. I don't get any similarities to Odyssey Black, by the way. So it does have a woody base, and I definitely smell it in the dry down. It does lean woody, although it is also fresh and sweet. But the notes are quite different than the notes in Stronger With You. So I don't know how they do that, where they list different notes, but it smells very similar to that. I'd say this is like 70% Stronger With You, and maybe 30% Invictus, or the sweetness and freshness of Invictus without that bubblegum. I like this one more than CR7 Game On. I just think that one is kind of like it does smell like Stronger With You, but overall the performance and everything, I'm just not impressed with that one. This one, the jury's still out on this one. Haven't tried any other dupes, but this one is approved. Let's see how it is after a few months. Let's see if it changes inside. But for $25, I wouldn't pay any more than $25 for this. For $25 to $20, this is a pretty good fragrance as an alternative to Stronger With You. It's very pleasant. I think this is hard to dislike, and I don't think it's super strong. I would suspect that this is office safe. It's definitely a fun weekend fragrance. I don't think this really is a dress-up fragrance, but this could be a dumb reach for cooler and colder weather. So it's a good one. Odyssey Homme White Edition, a smell-alike, a similar fragrance to Stronger With You. Hope you liked the video, guys. That's all for this one. So give me a thumbs up if you did, and hit the like button. I appreciate that, guys. Leave me a comment down below if you've tried any of these fragrances and what you think about them. If you do want to see more content like this, let me know in the comments, and subscribe to see more. Stay tuned for the next video coming in a couple days, guys. Until then, take care.